Hi, Joy Tribe. Welcome to the show. This is a bit of more of a somber Joy Villa show. It's Wednesday. My name is Joy Villa, and this is the Joy Villa show. We go live. I have got Jeremy Lifsey. So he was my boyfriend, and not to make it dramatic, but we just, we're no longer dating. So we're no longer boyfriend and girlfriend. We've been friends, what?
16 years almost.
Almost 16 years.
We gave it a try, guys.
Hi, JCL. As you guys are entering into the room, I know you said JCL. I hope this isn't real. Yes, it is real.
It's real.
It's real. And hey, welcome. Yeah. Oh, I hope you find love somewhere else. Thank you. Go ahead and comment where you're watching from.
We still love each other, but it's just probably better. Both of us have our careers, and it's just
we've been friends for 15, almost 16 years.
Yeah.
We did try dating. How long ago? 13 years ago?
Yeah, 13, 14.
So we tried dating 13, 14 years ago. It was like 2 weeks we dated. Yeah. We loved each other. Again, we will always love each other.
Yeah.
We tried dating back then, and then we ended up kind of falling back into friendship. I always admired him, always loved him, always admired me, right? Loved me.
Yeah.
And then by a miracle of God, we found ourselves back in Florida, and we felt like God had provided all the signs. It was beautiful. So we went into a really passionate relationship now, this time being like, this is for real. We gave it a good go. It had been 8 months of dating.
Yeah.
So we lasted 8 months as boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't like to say that it's a failure because dating is its own success. 8 months, we talked a lot. You guys know him, Jeremy Lifsey. He's a comedian. He's been on my YouTube. In fact, October 11th is when we reconnected. And so, yeah, it's sad news. I know a lot of you guys want to see us be boyfriend and girlfriend forever, to continue dating. But so we're no longer dating. We're still friends. What's our...
I just was like,
Hi, Yolanda. We're no longer dating.
It was like awesome, but her being my girlfriend was just, it was cramping my style. So I was just like,
he's short, so it's if I cramp him anymore,
feet smell. So instead of being a boyfriend, I just...
Oh, wait, we go in there with the feet smell? You short too.
And you get that musty morning breath.
Okay.
Wow. So I got tired of having a girlfriend.
There we go. He just didn't want to have a girlfriend anymore. My feet smell.
Instead, I asked her to be my wife.
Joy Tribe. Yes, we didn't lie to you. We are no longer dating because
we're engaged.
I was almost dying laughing when he was talking about my feet smelling, which they don't, by the way. Yes, good Lord. Super Patriot, dance strikes, yes. Oh my gosh, we should have kept it going for like another 20 minutes. It's tough. Yeah, we're no longer dating. That's the truth. Hi, Alexander. Hi, Heather. Exactly. JCL was here from the beginning, and you know how we do, baby boo. We are officially engaged. So we are no longer in dating. Excuse me, we're going to get married. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm going to have to live with that musty morning breath the rest of my life.
I don't know. Sometimes I have musty morning breath. But my baby always got that musty mouth. I be loving his kisses. Oh my gosh. So everything was true. We had dated about 14 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. Okay, baby. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Super Patriot. Thank you, guys. We had dated that long time ago, and we had an incredible love affair, but it was really based on friendship. We were laughing, we were talking, and then for whatever reason, it didn't end up following. Like, he had his own path, I had my own path. And yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, and it's so funny because I feel like this announcement, I was almost like, should we announce already? But we got engaged
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And look at this gorgeous ring. The body of it is antique. Look at this. Stunning. Oh my gosh. Isn't it so unique and stunning and gorgeous? I love it.
Just like you, my love.
Oh, thank you, baby. Love the diamond, love the gold, love the band. Oh, babies, little 80s like me, born in the 80s. I think it was 1979.
Is that when Marty said it was?
Yeah, yeah. So we've got a lot more to share. The engagement video is incredible because the way he proposed to me was so clever. And he's a tattoo artist, so he proposed in very tattoo artist style.
Don't tell him about it. Just
I'm
show
not.
it to
Yeah,
him.
we're gonna show it to you. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at Joy Villa on Instagram, and Jeremy at Jeremy Lifsey Tattoo. Is there a seven?
Jeremy Lifsey. Oh yeah, Jeremy Lifsey Tattoo 777. And then Jeremy Lifsey Comedy, but be warned about the comedy page. It can be a doozy.
The comedy page is pretty crazy. Yes, Yolanda, look at the comments. Who are you going to invite for your wedding? Whoever the freak we want to. It's going to be a lot of family. It's going to be a small, intimate wedding because we love each other. How soon do you want kids? Look at that. Soon.
She wants it soon.
I want it soon. I love all these questions. Isn't this amazing, you guys? I know we tricked you. We love you, Joy Tribe. You guys have been on this journey. Now, full disclosure, a lot of you guys have been following me. You know that I'm divorced now 4 years. And we were together for 7 years, Mike's husband. And he would be on my socials sometimes too. And then I was in another relationship and he was on my socials for a year. So, I mean, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm not putting anybody that I'm dating or seeing on my socials. I'm traveling the world. It was COVID, right? We had crazy political turmoil in this country. And God really brought me into this more quiet place as a woman. I start writing down exactly what I want in a man. Exactly. I said, I want a reformed bad boy. I think I wanted artist. I actually said too, I wanted us to be friends because I was like, what have I not done? I've never dated someone I've known as a friend first. And I was like, I don't have any hot, eligible, single friends. I mean, they're like, I have like really handsome dude friends that are married or dating somebody, or like I would never date because they're my friend. And it's been a journey. And I tell you guys, by the grace of God, he brought me throughout the world. I was volunteering in South Africa, doing church work, going to the UK, shooting a film in Spain, back and forth, 2 films. One is coming out this Christmas. Pastor Sue Saves Christmas. You all know your girl's nominated. And then it was like back in Florida visiting family. I don't know what I'm going to do. I started really getting into like the coaching, the writing down, the dating again. Like I was like, I have to get serious. I want to meet my husband, a husband and future father of my children. I don't want to just date him. I mean, I was dating. And it's like when you're a public figure and you're very controversial, like I don't want him to be shot it up, right? It's like all these things. Health has to be health minded, has to be funny. We have to have great chemistry. Has to work out on his own. I don't want to, because I'm a personal trainer as well and a nutritionist. I don't mind helping someone, but it doesn't really work when you're like the only healthy one. For me, I don't want to project. Somebody who's a good communicator and someone who loves me as much as I love them, and masculine. And I had all of these things. Wants to travel, wants to create, is ambitious, loves God. You guys since I launched the podcast, my Joy Villa podcast, The Joyful Life, last year, I've been talking about it. I'm very vocal. And if you guys want to hear that, it's on Spotify and here on YouTube. It's The Joy Villa, The Joyful Life. So you can look that up. And I was very vocal in my journey and what I'm looking for, where I was very honest with you. I want to share this with you. I talked about masculine energy, feminine energy. I like to help others with what I know that hopefully helps you guys. And you guys have been a great comfort in this, been through the ups and downs. And then I find little old me back in Florida where Jeremy lives, 2 hours away. What happened, baby?
Well, I swept you off your feet.
He did. I texted him. I was like, I haven't seen Jeremy in about 2 years. And we've been
No, we
friends.
hadn't seen each other in 4
Had it
years.
been 4 years?
Yep,
Since you did this
2019.
tattoo on me. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
2000, yeah,
2019.
2019, Halloween 2019.
Wow.
And then
Halloween is significant
yeah,
for us.
and then you reached out October 11th. No, yeah, October 11th.
Or October 8th.
October 8th, 2023. So 4 years later, basically.
Wow.
And then we met up on the 11th and
Of October last year.
and we basically have been inseparable ever since.
Oh my gosh. And we've been dating this whole time, fully committed. And there's going to be a lot of depressed men in your comments, kind of like with Brett Cooper. I know Brett Cooper just got married. Weston can sing. Oh, I'm inviting. Yay. Hi, Laurel. Hi, Ricardo. Yes. Hi, Laurel. Laurel Imer's in the house. Yeah, Weston's a great singer. Oh, Hallows Eve. Halloween's significant for us. Well, for me, I've always known energetically my New Year's is August. For some reason, August is my New Year's. And so I usually put my goals, my intentions, my prayers in August. And I see them manifest August, September, usually by September, October. So the fall for me is how people would do their New Year. And I didn't choose that. It's always been that way. New sort of fresh new things and ideas and inspirations come to me in August and then manifest by the end of that, fall season. And like by November, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. And Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
She be loving to eat.
I love to eat. I'm like, let's eat. And then, of course, I love Christmas. I love, all of the different holidays and seasons. But that's been my thing. And for him to come into my life around that time, I tell you, I was praying. I was crying to God. I was like, I want the right one, not just anyone, and I'm very particular. It's very specific. And God sent me everything and my amazing man, Jeremy Lipsy. So tell him about how did you get ready for my arrival? For your queen?
Well, after many years of off and on relationships, I mean, I've always been like committed when I've been in a relationship, but when I was single, I was single and ready to mingle.
He was a playboy. And he was mingling.
I was mingling a little bit.
He was a hoe.
No, maybe a little bit.
Ladies, put a comment if you've slept. No, just kidding. Don't do that. Drop an emoji if you already slept with him. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I always was committed, but out of all those relationships, and I loved my women, but out of all of them, I never once I might have thought like, oh, I wonder if I'll get married someday, but I never thought like, I want to marry this person, right? And then I kind of reserved that I probably wouldn't get married. May be, might be a boyfriend or something towards the end of my life, or I might be single. I don't know. But I did a lot of meditation and breath work and a lot of art. But before me and Joy met, I'd been single for going on almost 3 years.
Wow.
And October 2021. Yeah, going on 3 years.
Wow.
And I had been on the road for 18 months. And then I had been in Florida for about 6 months at that point, 7 months. And then like literally about a month and a half before me and her got together, I had sworn off all outside distractions outside of my art and writing comedy. And that wasn't even going to I wasn't even gonna date or hook up with girls anymore. I wasn't.
It's powerful.
I was gonna just swear off. I was just gonna basically try and become celibate and
No pornography,
um and
right?
yeah,
That which I know I'm not trying to blow your spot up, but a lot of people struggle with that.
yeah,
Women and men, and that is something that I believe that if you invite all of that, corn into your life, I can't say that word, will get demonetized, but you guys can figure it out. Or even like some of the IG people, men and women, it's like this lust, this spirit of lust, this bodies, this even online dating can get very lustful. This hookup culture.
yeah.
That what are you putting your energy on? We talk about that a lot.
I mean, over the last 7 years, I've been a lot less of a player.
You've calmed down a lot.
I just was like, I just became more focused on mind, body, and spirit. Yeah, I would every once in a while I might hook up with somebody that I knew really well or whatever, but I was I don't know, I just was maturing, I guess.
I mean, yeah, it happens too. I love your testimony because God brought us both together, and you had written down your ideal mate.
It's true, I did.
And what did it say?
I remember it saying I wanted her to be exotic looking, Latina, curvy. Forgive me, but I like the curves.
Why would anybody forgive you? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You a man.
And I wanted us to laugh, be passionate, and have a spiritual connection and be creative. And I was like, I had I was on my way to work and Joy texted me from a number I didn't recognize.
I had changed my number, so we'd been out of touch for 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years at that point, and I tried to text her about 6 months before that. Before she texted me, but she never got the message.
Yeah, like I hope you're doing well, trying to connect with me.
Yeah, just like, hey Joy, it's Jeremy. I hope you're doing well. I hope And then so when she texted me, she's like, hey Jeremy, it's Joy Villa. I was like, oh my God, I tried to text you a few months ago. And she was like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yeah, I did. And I found the text and I screenshot it and I sent it to her. And then I thought, I'm driving and I remember just definitively thinking, like, what if she's in Florida? How weird would that be? Like, me and her, like, travel all the time. Like, and then I thought, you know what? Stranger things have happened, and it's very possible she's in Florida. I mean, I never knew of her being in Florida before. I knew of her being all over the world, but
yeah.
So then I was like, where are you? And she said, I'm in Tampa, Florida. So I called her up immediately, and I was like, oh my God, you're in Tampa? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm in Marion County, Florida. And she's like, no, you're not. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm 2 hours away from you. And she's like, oh my God, you got to come visit me. And we wound up visiting, and
his car broke down, so he had to rent another car, and it was a van. He rented a van because I was like, okay, I was also like at that point in my life where I was kind of like, I'm open. A lot of women ask me like, how did you find? You have to open your flows, open your spirit up to whatever God's going to bring you, but you do have to exactly ask for what you want, specific. So I was also in this kind of hermit mode, meditation, following God's word, like, working with my shadow side, like really going in and being like, okay, what have I done wrong? Let me take responsibility for my past loves. And I like how Jeremy's like, I loved all the women I loved, but nothing like this. And he has told me that so many times, baby. I love it. He says, you're the one woman for me. What do you call me?
My dream girl?
Yeah. He's said that multiple times. You're my dream girl. And words can be one thing, actions are another thing. When you put actions with words, and I'm words of affirmation, that's my love language, and then touch. And he has always been there for me as a support system, as my friend. We met in Los Angeles on the set of Heroes, acting in that TV show on the Universal Studios lot 15 years ago, almost 16 years ago. And we instantly became friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we had always this chemistry, and we were just friends. We would flirt, but if we were, booed up, we would never cross the boundaries. And then, excuse me, we were dancing together and I came on to him, and then we ended up dating, and then like it ended up
Well,
being
I just always thought, like, even like
14 years ago.
when I said, like, when I first saw her, I was like, damn.
Ah!
And then I was like, she probably doesn't want nothing to do with you, but go over there and say something funny. And so I did. I went up and I said something funny, and she turned around and said something funny back, and then we became friends. But I always thought, oh, she ain't into. I'm too short and skinny for her. And,
He's 5'7",
mm-hmm,
and I'm almost 5'11".
5'7" and full of heaven.
Ah! And I'm 5'11" and full of heaven.
Oh,
Oh, dang, baby.
And we make a 7-Eleven heaven.
Hey, Paul Fiends, he's your boyfriend. He's no longer my boyfriend, Paul. We're no longer boyfriend, girlfriend. We're no longer dating. Because we engaged. We engaged, biatches. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my goodness, look how it sparkles. Sweetheart, look how it sparkles. And it looks like a crown. Tell them about the ring, baby.
Oh yeah. So my friend's a jeweler, and I was just like, I don't want to get like just another basic, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, right? But I just didn't want to get like another basic ass ring. So we were looking for like vintage rings.
And I love vintage.
And we kept like we looked at dozens of rings. We bought a couple like really awesome looking vintage rings with filigree.
Mm-hmm.
She gets the rings and they're too small.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention. I'm going to eat it. Somebody else will buy these. We got to look. And this is like 2 months.
He's talking about his
3
friend.
months after we'd already been looking. So then for like another month and a half, 2 months, we're looking for rings. And then she found this one, which at first I was like, I don't know. I kind of like it, but what do you think? And she's like, I love it. I think it's an awesome ring. And so then we had to get it sized. We had to inlay the stone.
Gorgeous. And Paul just said it's a really good diamond because he's in the business. I know you can see it sparkle, right?
And then she sent it, and then I sat on it for like a month and a half, 2 months. So like when me and Joy first got together, I knew within the first month, I was like, I'm going to marry her someday. Never, like I said, never thought about that. Never, it may have been like a fleeting thought through my mind with a couple of ex-girlfriends, but never, like, I never took it serious. I never said, I'm going to marry her. I never thought I was going to marry. I might have been like, I wonder if with Joy, within the first month, I was like, I'm going to marry her. And which was crazy because when we got together, I remember like thinking like, God, I feel lonely. I need to find a woman. But then I was like, you don't got time for that. You don't have the means for that. You don't. And I remember like thinking like last week, I was like, when me and her first got together, I was at a point where I just felt like I was just so unready and unprepared for a woman. We got together and I somehow got prepared. I was like, I wouldn't know how to make it work right now. I'm like focused on this and yeah, like we've just, I don't know.
We've gone up and up and up.
We've had to faith it till we make it.
We faith it till we make it. Shout out to Spunky Robinson.
Spunky Robinson.
Funny comedian. Go look him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been beautiful, baby. I love you saying that. It brings tears to my eyes. Joy Tribe. I love this man so
Girl,
much.
ain't nobody trying to see your fake ass tears.
It's
You got allergies, is what you got.
peeling some onions or something. Something's in the air. Hi guys. Yes, yes. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the congratulations, Joy Tribe. Yeah, like punked you out a little bit. We're like, we're no longer dating. And then we said, yeah, because we're engaged. And we announced it in the beginning. So people are gonna watch the replay and be like, what? Um, on what he said, it's when I was praying and I was like, I would do this thing where I'd say, God, show me what you want to show me. And I try to remember to do that, because I was in I had lost a lot of sort of things that I was used to. And I'd also given away a lot of things. I walked away, not to be too weird, but I walked away from a lot of lucrative job offers and situations that had burnt me out. And I went overseas because I was sick of the whole Ovid fine teen nonsense. And I was just like, I don't want any of this. And politics wore me out. And I was just like, what is life about? And I'd come through this whole full circle, and I did spiritual counseling where I received and gave. I learned to become a spiritual counselor. I got certifications in helping others. I did volunteer work. I was working out a lot, hours a day. Like I really was like on my priority stuff, cleaning out. And I didn't date. I maybe went on like 2 dates in 1 year in 2021. I just had a friendship circle, and they were all people who were with me, spiritually minded, God focused, business focused, doing their own thing. It was more spiritual, emotional healing. And also, I had just gotten divorced like a year later, and people say it takes what it takes. It takes a long time to get through it. I don't say over it, through it. And heartbreak is hard. And you also think like, oh, why did it fail? I had to grieve the death of my divorce, even though ultimately I know that was not the person I was meant to stay with. So in that way, it's a success, and it was what led me to my man, because I have no doubts going into this with Jeremy Lifsey. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, is this just an old friend spouting love poems? Because he can talk and he can charm. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so good. But then I was like, wait, what's different here is I feel the exact same way. He's saying what I'm feeling and thinking. And we were on the same page so much. It was so easy. It clicked. It was actually scary how much we would, right, baby? And I was staying at my family's place in Jacksonville. And then we were apart for the first month we were dating, and we were sitting down. I was like, listen, I want to be a wife. I want to be a mother. I'm dating for seriousness. And he's like, okay. And I was like, okay, with this, I'm very ambitious. This, I'm conservative, this. And he's like, yes. And he's got his what are our non-negotiables? Obviously, we're like loyalty to each other, putting God first. Oh, and one of the tests, I was like, I want him to pray with me. God, if this is real, have him pray with me. Because I was still testing the spirit. Y'all, I'm talking to my ladies for a second. Guys, close your ears. Ladies, we are really strict, right? We really want what we want. We have 50,000 requirements. And I'm not saying we should lower our standards, but sometimes when we see what God has given us, like if it comes really fast, it's scary, right, ladies? Sometimes it's scary. I was a little scared to open my heart again. And what happens, right? Is it heartbreak? Okay, guys, you can listen now. So, but when I said I want him to pray, it's like, okay, God, if this is real, have him pray with me. And then on your end,
I showed up in Jacksonville. It was like a month after we started dating. And then
he would come visit. You came visit like once a week.
Well, we
did our
saw
dates.
each other. We spent 4 days together.
Oh,
and then we spent 2 weeks apart.
Yeah,
and
you went to
we
LA.
got together for about 4 days.
Yeah,
and then I went to LA for another 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that was tough. We were in the midst of a passionate love, and we'd talk for hours on FaceTime.
Oh my God, every night we'd talk for like 4 to 6 hours.
One time I stayed up all night, and I had a promotional modeling gig the next day. I had a gig. I was like, I'm just going to drink energy drink and stay up all night. And he was like, really? I said, yeah. And I stayed, you know, I would go, my family live in Jacksonville, my cousin's out there. So I stayed at my cousin's place, on uncle's place.
Well, anyways, when I got back from LA after the second 2 week mission, she was in Jacksonville and I was supposed to come out and visit her. And I remember thinking, like, I feel like she would be the type of woman that would pray with me. Because, like, I don't claim to be the greatest Christian or anything, because I have a lot of denominational beliefs within me. Christ is a big part of that, but you know, I think there's a lot of trails to the top of the mountain, and the view is probably all the same, depending on the way you walk that trail. But I do pray to God regularly. I meditate regularly. And so
I pray in Jesus' name.
I do say Jesus' name too, but I also do Buddhist meditations. And my grandmother was Native. She was born on a reservation, and I did years of Native ceremonies, and those are powerful too.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that.
Well, but what Jeremy did is he asked me to pray with him.
That's it. Yeah. I asked her to pray with me, and she's like, "Oh my God, I've been wanting, I can't believe you asked me. This is a sign from God." And
because make no mistake, God is the center of our relationship.
100.
Right? And for me, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Jeremy's grown up Christian. Jeremy, you know, we pray in Jesus' name. And this isn't about a religion. This is about us having our spiritual connection.
Spiritual connection with God.
That's what it is. We go into nature regularly. God's church.
That's church.
That's it. And it's like, it's very personal. And I want to say too, is like, when I was praying, and I'm going to read the chat. I know you guys were talking about some of the chats. Yes. And I know that I was praying, and I said, God, show me what you want me to see. And there was a spiritual video that popped up. And then I thought of Jeremy, and I was in the spirit, and I texted him, and that's when everything popped off. Well, that video was talking about how a love of your life will come in and respect you and all of these things. And it was like a, you know, spiritual positive, like
Jeremy
prediction.
Has no respect for anybody.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy has absolutely no respect for anyone.
And so what happened is it came to pass. It was just everything in the world, everything in my universe and our universe joined us together for us to come together. And it's so intense and so deep. And I mean, we tattooed each other. Show it, baby. Baby, wake up. You falling asleep over here? It's tired. Oh, baby, you on live stream. You can't make me look bad in front of my live stream.
You on jive stream.
So we tattooed this. This is Fehu, which is a
Nordic
rune, which is a symbol back in the Nordic times. And we both came to it on our we're like, yeah, let's tattoo a rune on each other. We like Viking culture. You know, it's got spiritual significance for family, fertility, creativity, luck, abundance, everything we have.
It has something to do with farming and being like a herder.
It's cattle.
It
means cattle,
abundance, and creativity.
And it means I'm a cow. No, just kidding. Yeah.
No.
Like, what?
You a cow, girl? They ain't trying to hear this bullshit.
I get that. I'm a Taurus. I'm a cow. So yeah, it's really been an incredible journey, and it's been 8 months, baby. And Jeremy proposing to me we talked about getting married, but I didn't expect it at that time when he did it. And the ring, the back and forth design, the ring. And then when the ring came in, it was a size too small for me. You gotta tell him the story about how you
broke up with me 2 days before.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So 2 days before, we had a huge fight, and I actually broke up with Jeremy. I was like, that's it.
A huge fight. It was an intense
It's an argument.
Fight.
Yeah.
It was an argument that turned into something bigger than it.
It always like
it was
we're
stupid.
dramatic.
I woke up super tired.
And grumpy as heck.
Grumpy. Yeah, I woke up super tired and grumpy. And she woke up with a list of demands.
What?
Well, yes. And then I was just like, and then she's like, let's go on a walk. And I was like, okay, we'll go on a walk.
And he was like, down with walks.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of times I go on walks in like nature, and I talk That's when I do a
I
lot of
go
my
on
prayer.
walks, and I
Right?
was like,
And
then
then
so
so
somebody called and their mom died. So
okay,
I was on the
that
phone
has
literally
nothing to do with it.
counseling her.
So she
I
got
was
on the
literally on the
phone,
phone
which was
talking
fine
to
with
her.
me because I knew the lady's
Has a
mom had
lot to
died,
do with it.
right? That was fine. But then she got off the phone and then she continued to text, and then she said, just walk, just go in and walk.
Well,
She
because
brushed me off, and that's when I was just like, oh, hell no. And then I turned around and I was like, I'm fucking going back home. And I turned around and I walked towards the house.
okay, so are you going to take responsibility for what you did? You yelled at me.
Absolutely not.
So
Do I look like the type of guy that would do that? Yeah, so I threw a tantrum.
Were an asshole.
I did. I threw a tantrum.
He threw a freaking tantrum because he was already throwing it. He was like, "Are you gonna?" I was like, "Baby, I have to talk to this lady because she." And by the way,
I didn't bother
hold
you during
on,
that
let me
phone call.
let me finish, baby. So I actually was talking to this lady, and her mom had died, and you guys know how important that is for me to talk to somebody whose parents have died. My parents died, and then I had left my sunglasses there. So I was trying to text the address to her so I could get my sunglasses. She was going to come drop them off for me. Very sweet lady at the horse thing. Jeremy wasn't paying attention to any of that. He just wanted to go for a walk. So I said, go. I said, baby, go take your walk. Because I ain't about that life. If I got things to do. And then he threw a temper tantrum. And then it proceeded to ignore me the whole day. And I freaked out. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this because we had a comedy show to go to at night, an open mic. We were both performing. And oh my gosh, I'm having deja vu. This is so crazy. I'm having super hardcore deja vu right now. You guys. So yeah, it's I hear you, Carl. That's beautiful. So yeah, that was one of the things. We
argued on the way to the open mic, and then she
So
broke up with me, basically. And then I remember the first thing I thought was,
I did.
I was like, oh
don't
my God.
Don't cuss.
I was like, oh my God, are you serious? I was just about to propose to her on Friday.
And I said, you know what? And he didn't tell me that.
I didn't tell her that.
But he's like, are you really breaking up? I said, yeah, third time's a charm. This is not okay. Do not ignore me. And I overreacted. I'll admit I overreacted. And, and he was like, well, I'm sorry. He did apologize. Right. I overreacted.
Yeah. And I just told her, I was like, sometimes when I'm angry, I don't know how to communicate. Yeah. And I also
would you say you also overreacted?
Yeah, I overreacted, but I also was like, I also felt like you probably wanted some space from Mr. Prick.
No, see that's the difference of communication, which we got to take to therapy, my love, because I work it out. I don't like I like some space. We can walk it off, but if you're gonna ignore me for 8 hours, like that's just cruel. That's and it triggered me because I'm like, no, my parents have both died. If you're my family, you're with me. You're not ignoring me. You're not like, what if something had happened to us? What if he had gotten into a car accident? He's ignoring me for 8 hours. It's childish. And that's not okay. So I broke up with him. I was like, no, it's over. We'll go back to being friends.
But then we somehow worked it out like within an hour.
Because you apologized and you admitted it.
Yeah. And then
good man.
And then we were driving, and I thought, okay, well, I guess we're breaking up, and we're still driving to go do this open mic because I was just like, well,
oh gosh.
I was like, I've got to find a way to do comedy even at my lowest point. And then halfway, like probably 15 minutes, like 10 minutes before we got there, she's like, she grabbed my hand. She's like, I don't want to break up with you either. Da, 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 da. We overreacted. And then I bought her ice cream.
Bought me ice cream and a burger.
We made up, and
because he knew it was a bad boy. And then I'm like crying in the car, and I'm like, oh, it feels so bad because it feels bad to fight, and we really are connected. It feels really bad to fight. Let's not do that again, baby. Let's not fight like that, okay?
Yes, my darling.
And I mean, we do have that because I love him, and it's harder too when you're like, you have your own thing going, and then something happens with the love of your life, and it feels very dramatic, and it feels very end of the world, and that's how it felt. And I think it's funny because I think the energies we can laugh about. It still kind of ticks me off. I'm not gonna lie. When you're like, oh, and she was making demands, I'm like, I literally was just talking to you. It was in the morning.
Yeah,
But it
we're
was
both in
bad
different-
time. Yeah, it was bad timing. And I can
We're
admit
looking at different perspectives.
it's
so
true.
whatever.
It's true.
And but I admit to being a prick. I know that.
Thank God.
I can be a moody little bastard sometimes.
And I can punch him out, so he better watch his step. So ladies, get you a small guy, so you can just check him real quick where the balls at.
But then
check
2 days later.
Did you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Where the balls at?
Baby, don't cuss on this live
I'm
stream.
not cussing.
But then 2 days later, I was like, oh, we're gonna tattoo some flowers on you, and I got her at the shop. We'll post the video.
We'll post the video.
I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, don't tell him all the whole details. He's amazing.
I keep looking at the computer, forgetting that we're filming.
We're filming this way, baby. Yes.
Hey guys, I'm looking at you 100% right now. I keep thinking that it's right there on the computer, but it's right here.
All right, let's get to some of the questions. You guys are great. Carl says, I can relate to Lord Krishna when it comes to God. I also relate to the Dharma from Buddha. Awesome. Uralic Tribes is commenting. Great. Victor says, I love to talk about God's love language, and I was listening to you speak of your past. I thought about this morning. I woke up thinking about my shortcomings, and the Lord spoke to my spirit. He reminded me with scripture, Romans 4:5. However, to the one who does not work but trusts God, who justifies the ungodly, their faith is credited as righteousness. And I'm reminded that it is done, and this is the message that I'm here to share, Jesus Christ and his crucifixion. Beautiful, Victor. We're reading the chat. I feel fine. The Beatles. What does this button do? Carl's like, okay, cool. Yes, I'm still pro-Trump. And the election is crazy, but we better get Trump.
Yes, I'm still apolitical. I'm stranded in the middle.
But he's more conservative than that.
I definitely lean more conservative for sure, but I'm not a registered voter, have no intention of doing it.
Yeah. He's a rebel. The Uralic Tribes, congratulations to you both. It's good to see people getting married even in these dark times. Oh, yes. I love Amber Rose. I love that she freaking came out in support for Trump. And I actually liked her before. She's a wild thing. I like wild people. I like people who are into business and wild and strong women. And, it's like the celebrity culture. I don't follow it. I never truly followed it. Those were my peers. They still are my peers in some regard. But I think it's a tough, stressful business to be a celebrity, to be an entertainer, to be pro. And Jeremy is moving into comedy. So he's got a comedy page on YouTube at Jeremy Lifsey on YouTube and at Jeremy Lifsey Comedy on Instagram.
I think it's Jeremy Lifsey Comedy on YouTube too.
I think it's just Jeremy Lifsey.
Maybe.
If you search up Jeremy Lifsey, some tattoo stuff will come out.
Lifsey Comedy.
We could do that since they're both. Way. Yeah.
All the comedians have their name in common.
Yeah, you can do that, baby. Do what you want. I know, all so sweet. So we love each other, and he puts up with my crazy ways because I can be a crazy woman.
Look at her hair. That's all you got to look at.
I was actually pausing for you to say.
And she puts up with my perfections.
Such a Capricorn. I like he puts up with my crazy ways.
Well, we know I ain't perfect.
There it is. And we love each other. The 15 years of friendship is incredible.
That was like, I feel like, because I swear to God, before she texted me out of nowhere to visit her, and I was like, there had been a couple other women in the last 2 months, few women that were trying to hang out, and I was like, no, not happening.
And I wasn't texting him to hang out. I was just texting him to say hi.
Well, she was just texting me to say hi, but then wound up, we were 2 hours away, and she's like, well, you should come visit me. And I was like, I would go visit Joy. I would go hang out with Joy.
Did I say it, or did you say I'm coming to visit you? Because I don't even think I asked you, because I was like, he's busy. I just thought, he's a tattoo artist. He's always been on his business. Said,
oh my God, come down and see me. I got
a place down here. Yeah, I did have a place out there. And I
said, all right, I'll be down there in 2 days. I have clients for the next 2 days. And I'll come see you.
It's a booked and busy tattoo
artist. My car's in the shop right now, but I can rent one.
No, you didn't tell me that. You did it after.
I told you that the next day or so.
Yeah, because then I was like, you said you were going to come. And I was like, are you still coming? And he's like, yeah. And I rented a car. I'm on my way. And I was like, whoa, he's ready. And then, oh, yeah, I said, come down and be on my YouTube show.
Yeah.
This very YouTube, October 11th. And the rest was history. You guys, this has been such a whirlwind. It's beautiful. And now we're engaged in 8 months.
But when we wound up like being romantic, I remember thinking, because I'm gonna be perfectly honest, like, most of the women that I knew or I had tried to date or whatever, there was just a lot of things missing. And then I just remember thinking, like, even though I'm not a conservative, I'm not a voter, how much balls it takes to show up into liberal Hollywood in a Trump dress, and when you're surrounded by the enemy. And I was just like, that's a brave woman right there. And like, there was just things about her and her belief system that we really aligned with. And I was like, and then the knowing each other for so many years was also like a big selling point. And the fact that I've always been attracted to her, you know, and that she's always thought I was the hottest since the sun. That helped. But yeah, it was like, it's so out of nowhere.
I know. That's how you know it's God. Do not give up if you haven't.
And I wasn't ready. And God's like, nope, you're going to get ready.
Yes.
You'll be ready.
Yes. Right.
I'll make you ready. And it was like, I was like juggling tattooing, comedy, and her. And
you weren't doing comedy at that time.
I was writing it.
Yeah.
I was writing it, and I would read it.
You performed it on the phone to me.
Yeah. No, I performed it for you when the first night.
You performed it on the phone first. I'll never forget that. Really? You're like, I got a comedy show. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's funny. And then I'm like, you're doing not a comedy show. You said a comedy skit or whatever. You did your comedy. And I was like, oh, this is well written. And I said, are you doing open mics? You performing? And he's like, no. I said, you're not even at least doing open mics anywhere. I mean, his comedy was professional. And I was like,
because I wrote it for like 2.5 years.
And it was one of those things, right? Because he's a professional tattoo artist. He's owned his own tattoo shop. You've traveled around the country. You've been to Spain. I mean, you've done a lot in the time I've known you.
Out of Australia.
There you go. Story for another time.
Dental work in Mexico.
There you go. Love is beyond politics. Hi, Jesse. Jesse Stevenson. Oh my gosh. Hi, Jesse. My friend Jesse. Incredible gospel singer. Jesse, we're no longer dating because we just got engaged. We about to be married. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hey, it's so good to see you. So long story long, we've been friends for 15 years. We dated 13 years ago. Stayed friends, got back together as friends that turned into dating again. God's timing. 8 months ago, and now we're engaged. When you know, you know. And he's always admired me. Yeah, I've always admired him. He's an incredible man, incredible businessman, and comedian. And he wasn't performing his comedy, and I encouraged him to do his comedy. I'm not saying like I made him, like I made the man, but he will credit me with like pushing him to do it. And I'm a bit ballsy, right, baby? Like I didn't make you the comedian you are, but I did push you to do your first.
No, she definitely pushed me to do my open mic. And what was cool about that is I knew the set that I was going to perform was going to kill, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to deliver it to make it kill. And I also knew that if I didn't go on stage, what a weakling I'd look like in front of her. And I mean, I used to do hip hop music back in the day, which wasn't a problem because usually I would drink like a beer or two and I would like have liquid courage. But
Jeremy doesn't drink?
I don't do nothing anymore.
But I used to
smoke a lot of weed and drink back in the day.
So our lifestyles were different because I didn't do that.
I was like, I was like, you've been on stage before. You've been on stage
Look at
several
that.
times.
Jesse said she should push you to level up. Jesse's incredible.
That was another reason why I knew. I was like, oh, this is ordained by God, because it's like we would write about our dreams. We would come up with game plans and make blueprints of stuff.
Yeah, we would. We call it the PowerPoint.
We would speak and write things into existence. We're still doing that. And we call it, we've just been crushing goals. Like, we've wrote down so many key things that we've wanted. And like me saying, oh, I want to open up for bigger comedians. I just did that in Gainesville a week ago.
He did his first
actual show instead of an open mic,
because he'd been doing a lot of open mics. His first open mic he crushed. It was in Jacksonville.
And another bigger name comedian came up to me after I did my first show, Papa Jugo,
touring professional comedians,
funny black comedian,
independent.
He's like, dude, you're a natural. He's like, you got to go to Austin, Texas, and
so we started making plans, and I call them my PowerPoints. You know, Jesse, we know from Los Angeles. By the way, Jeremy and I are both from Los Angeles, and we met in Los Angeles. And we PowerPoint. Jesse and I have talked about that stuff too. Planning. He's got multiple albums. Incredible gospel singer. Touring. He performed in the UK. But Jesse does that too. He achieves incredible things.
If God created you in His image, then that means you're a creator being.
Exactly.
So you have the opportunity to create a world within your world.
It's true. Look at this. Will you read this one, baby?
Yeah.
Read out loud, honey.
I love how you finish each other's sentences and agree always with your comments.
Oh, I think Donna agrees, or we agree. Yeah, it's natural for us. He's the first man I felt like I could just say anything to, which is so liberating as a woman, because I've held back some of my ideas. I've been made to feel bad for being so ambitious, for being so like, why can't you just settle? Why do you have to be so? And, you know, I've had relationships where I'm the empowered businesswoman, go getter before I was a celebrity. And it's always been unequal. And I've always desired to push my future husband, like to help him, to be a helpmeet.
And I got to be honest, sometimes it's annoying as hell. I tell her she's got all these harebrained schemes, but I also know that like God, and I've been through some horrific things in my life, and I also know that God has expectations of me, and that He's never going to put anything that I can't handle. And when I look back at the things that I've handled, it's been way worse. So it's like, I feel like this is the way it's supposed to be. And I have to, because I can be a control freak. I have to sometimes surrender. I have to surrender to things and just be like, all right, let's do it. And then I find a lot of times when I surrender and just do things, I'm like, oh, that was actually really awesome. Or this is really cool.
It doesn't feel good.
We wind up at the International Christian Film Festival, and she's tired, and I'm making her go out. And I'm making her go places. And we met so many amazing people. And usually I'm the one, I don't want to go anywhere. You know.
He was in a shell for a while. He was not like that when I met him.
No, I was outgoing when she met me.
And then I was like, Jeremy, all the time. You're an outgoing person. But also when you leave that lifestyle, I think also you think you have to leave that lifestyle. But we are meant to be networkers. We're meant to be outgoing. I'm an introvert actually, but I'm a very social, outgoing person. But sometimes I go back in and I'm like, okay, now I want to chill. And he was like, baby, you can't chill yet. You got to go out. We got a 5 o'clock. And I was blown away how he kept me to my time. And he was like, remember those, we told those people we'd see their film. They came to see your screener. You got to go see, they would recognize me. And so I'd have to go. And those people ended up being some really good friends. I mean, there are so many good blessings. Abundance is everywhere. We've got to jump off here, my darlings. I love you so much. We do bring out the best in each other.
Yeah, abundance.
He's incredible.
Abundance is everywhere. And I learned that when I lived in Hawaii and was an organic farmer and a landscaper. And I just saw how bountiful and endlessly growing the land was. And I was like, this applies to all resources.
Look here.
This applies to all resources. This narrative that there's a lack of or that we're running out of resources, it's a lie.
You better
it's
preach.
A lie created by the devil to keep you imprisoned in a state of fear
Mhm.
when really it's an abundance. And again, you write and
Abundance.
create your own play, which
Hallelujah.
is your life. You paint your own masterpiece in
Yes.
your life.
Yes.
And boom, that's what you happen. So anyways,
hallelujah. So did I choose good or did I not choose good? And I know he chose good. And he's a lucky man. I'm a lucky
we'll see
woman.
about that.
We'll be married soon, sooner rather than
Ish.
later. We'll let you know the details, and it'll be a private, small wedding. And we just love each other. I love this man. He's on fire. So yeah, more to come. Make sure you follow me at Joy Villa on Instagram because I'm posting the engagement video there, my loves. Joy Tribe, you're incredible. Support Jeremy at Jeremy Lifsey on YouTube, at Jeremy Lifsey Comedy on Instagram, at Jeremy Lifsey Tattoo 777 on Instagram. And yeah, joyvilla.com. Launching some fitness programs very soon. Lots of exciting things. My book, season 2 of my podcast, all of that's coming out. I got a new tattoo. Bam! Jeremy did it. Love you guys.
Yeah, there's a video of that on my Instagram page. Y'all have a good one.
Whoa, and he's out. We flipping out, baby. Oh my God. See the sparkles, see the diamonds, see the diamonds, see the sparkles. I love it. Bye, Joy Tribe. I'll see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mwah. Help support the channel, help support the wedding. $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content. Become a member right here at Joy Villa on YouTube. Thanks for loving the chat. I love you guys. Well done. Yes, yes. Thank you for all the well wishes. We so silly. We so silly. I know. And yeah, God is good. Found the love of my life. He found me. Amen. See you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram, but Facebook, YouTube, all the live streaming platforms. Thank you, C. Thank you, guys. Exciting stuff. Joy Tribe, you guys got the news. Yeah. And by the way, of all my socials, I broke it to my YouTube first. So that's how much I love you guys. I love everybody else on the other platforms, but my YouTube's my faves. Thank you guys for your love and support, and we'll talk to you soon.